Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today, doing some we regret this hot takes. Now, the first take I'm going to take is it's going to be at the WNBA. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the cast with the most opinions and the least information. Thanks for joining us in the study of what it means to be human and where exactly does your poop go after you flush it. Please enjoy the show as we explore these topics and many more with the crew that is, we regret this already. It's very funny. It's hilarious. First off, a bunch of WNBA players and coaches and officials start coming out talking about how accepting and welcoming that they want to be as a community, as a league, as an association. That they're taking a stance on the men and women's sports, and the stance is we want to accept everybody. The stance is that if you're a trans woman, then you belong in the WNBA if that's where you feel that you need to be. Which is absolutely hilarious because I don't remember hearing anything in the news about a trans woman trying to even get in the WNBA. It seems like they were taking a preventative stance before it was even necessary. So that then called into the scene a couple NBA players that just decided that they were going to identify as trans, change or I don't know if they're changing. I'm not gonna claim that they're changing their gender identity. I wouldn't dare do such a thing. But these two NBA players, an Ennis Cantor and a Royce White, so very capable men, very athletic, very renowned in their field. I don't know a lot about sports. I will have an expert to fill in this blank. We're going to talk more about this. It's going to be a fun one. That's why I'm starting it off with the WNBA, because it seems to me hilarious that they would take this stance preventatively. And although it didn't even seem necessary. It just seemed like they wanted to make a statement. And then now we have these two people. I'm going to call them people for the sake of not wanting to misgender them. Ennis Cantor and Royce White, these two athletes that played for the NBA. They want to accept a bid for a draft in the WNBA in the 2027 draft, whatever the hell that means. Again, I will have experts on the matter speak thoroughly on what that even means, if it's possible. Now, I don't think it's possible. I don't think the WNBA would take these people, these two, I'll call them people, uh, seriously. I don't think they're going to take the claim seriously. I don't think the idea of just saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm transgender now," and or you know, I, you know, I, I don't know if they're going to take that as a valid claim. You know, uh, although I don't see why they wouldn't. In their eyes, by their own standards, they should be accepting in all. Accepting of all who feel that they belong, as you should. Except in sports, obviously, which is the point that these two people are making. These two people are making this point. They're doing it almost facetiously, tongue in cheek, But what if you delve into it a little further, dissect it further, get into it more? What if somebody, a person like Dennis Rodman, you know, formerly of the San Antonio Spurs, what if somebody like Dennis Rodman gets involved and says, "Hey, I'm queer. I'm a cross dresser. I identify as a woman when I like to go on walks on Thursday nights. I cross dress and that's what I do. I put on the heels and that's." So why wouldn't I be able to play in that sport? Dennis Rodman should take a stance here. This is a very important part, He likes to get involved in politics, geopolitics for one. We saw him over in North Korea, so maybe he would like to get involved in this, take a stance in this, maybe prove a point here. He already has the blue hair. He's got the boa. You know what I mean? I I don't see. Yeah, I think that would be monumental. That's my hot take. My hot take is Dennis Rodman, a former San Antonio Spurs. We love you, Dennis Rodman. Get involved. Get in that. Get in that 2026. You're only 65, brother. You know what I mean? That's take a whack at the WNBA Hall of Fame. I mean, shit. Yeah. So that's my hot take for the WNBA. It's it's interesting because now it's going to open the door for things like that, you know? Um yeah, it's going to open the door for men and women's locker rooms and if you just so happen to wear a thong maybe on a Thursday, then you can join the WNBA, why not? Take a whack at it, Mr. Rodman, please. Uh Yeah. We'll take a quick break. Howdy. I'm Bobby from the We Regret This Already podcast, but I'm not here to talk about podcasting or plumbing. I'm here to talk about performance. Now, between work, family, and podcasting, I can get a little burned out, a little dull around the edges. When that happens, I reach for Wnba. Wnba is a jitterless energy blend with no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors or dyes. Get back in the game. Level up. Do better. Be better with Wnba. It's made in America. And you can get 10% off of Wnba if you use code WeRegretThis at checkout. The link is going to be in the script square. And the time to give gifts is right now. So give the gift of Wnba. Be a buddy to your taste buddies. Drink Wnba. Oh, wow. That's really good. Moving on. Cyber attack on the water infrastructure. As a plumber, this is a big deal for me. I think that we can tend to overcomplicate the wheel, reinvent it in a way that doesn't need to be overcomplicated. So what happened? It was a cyber attack on the control equipment that runs the underground water pipes. So the attackers reportedly accessed internet exposed programmable logic controllers, PLCs, and the small industrial computers that automate pumps, valves, pressure, and treatment processes. All right, so I think what else? They altered passwords and IP addresses to lock operators out or break remote connectivity. Yeah, so you got all these pumps, all these controllers, all these valves connected to the internet. Like, I knew the moment that when they started inventing these goddamn kitchen sink faucets that connect to your phone, there was going to be a problem. Now your kitchen sink your faucets connect to your phone, your showers connect to your phone, your water heaters connect to your phone. I mean, Jesus Christ, why do we have Wi-Fi on our water heaters? I just don't. The moment we start making things, I guess, too technological and less mechanical, then we start allowing things more opportunity to break. You're just giving these cyber attackers an access. You're giving them an open door. Here you go, criminals. This is our drinking water. If we don't have this, we die in 3 days. But here you go. Here's an internet connection to it. Like, why the hell is it connected to the internet? I could see that being a closed system. I could see that being somewhere on a, some kind of, I don't know enough about computers, honestly. I can't even begin to understand what goes on. But I do know water, and I do know it doesn't need to be connected to the internet. Uh, the Romans didn't connect their shit to the internet. I mean, obviously they had lead in their water, but we don't have to go that far. We could just not connect to the internet. You know, that'd be fine. Um, the whole time we didn't have internet, we were doing fine. Why does all of a sudden we need these PLCs, these programmable logic controllers to be connected to the internet? It makes zero sense. And even if it's got super good security and all these goddamn I guess cyber attack firewalls and junk, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be protected against the future of AI hacking. There's another, that's another worry in itself. Once we get the AI to be able to hack full infrastructures and the city's drinking water, then we're going to be subject to the AI pretty much. Yeah, so this, again, like, it's overcomplicating the wheel. It's reinventing the wheel in a stupid new way, which doesn't need to be necessary. It should be a valve on the wall and a guy manning that valve. If this thing has to be on some sort of electrical system, it should send a signal out to a light bulb, and that light bulb is on a wall of light bulbs. Some guy sees that light bulb and he says, hey, there's a problem. Okay, like, that's as technical as it should get. It should send a signal, and there's a sensor saying, hey, there's a problem here. And that should go to a guy that is not on the internet, but just a guy that's just going to a wall somewhere. It doesn't have to be complicated, you know? If you're gonna set up some sort of alarm system, some sort of, if it has to be connected to some sort of electrical, it doesn't. No, it shouldn't. Water and electricity don't mix. That's why electricians and plumbers don't mix. We hate each other. Ask any Sparky in the trade, ask any plumb bum. We don't get down with them, We don't need PLCs. I mean, you need PLCs on wells. You need PLCs on, well, you don't necessarily need a PLC, but you need a pump for sure, and having a PLC on a pump makes it a little easier, but it doesn't have to be connected to the internet. And that's my biggest thing, is what the hell are we doing connecting the whole goddamn city connected to the internet? So yeah, we need to rethink our infrastructure. We need to simplify or under-design the future of our plumbing. It needs to be more mechanical. It needs to go back to the basics. Because if we are even anticipating a major attack on our water or our food, then we need to have things in place or we need to basically preventatively, I guess, retrofit the retrofit that we've done. We need to undo the retrofits that we've done to make it so technologically advanced. Yeah, so retrofit the retrofit. We need to undo the doing that we've done to do it right. Get it? So there's that. Goddamn cyber attack. Whew, that was that pissed me off. The internet, god damn it, the internet. That could have been done by Iran. That could have been done by any enemy. That could have been done by a hoodlum who knows too much about electrical stuff. But, yeah, so next thing, Chris Hansen. Saw a really cool trailer for a Chris Hansen movie. It's called Prime Time. Prime Time. First of all, that movie should have been called Take a Seat. But it does look very cool. It's got Robert Pattinson in it, the guy from Twilight. Looks pretty damn good. It's not a documentary, if that's what you're thinking. It's a bioflick. And it looks cinematically spectacular. I wonder what they're gonna do as far as the ending of how that show ended, because they have to put that in the movie. They have to obviously address the elephant in the room of why exactly that show came to a halt. And yeah, that show there, it kind of defined a generation, my generation specific. It was real cool. It was the first of its kind. It was ahead of its class. It was doing something nobody had ever done before. And hell, doing the Lord's work, catching the bad guys in the act. And I always love to see the way those dudes would stumble up. Looks like a good movie. Take a seat. That's what it should have been called. And that's my take there. It should have been called Take a Seat with Chris Hansen or something. I don't know. It's something along the lines. Prime time is cool. It's obviously the show made prime time, but I feel like you missed a real good opportunity there. You should have tested that name. I'm sure you did. I don't know. I don't know. But after I saw that trailer, Chris Hansen ended up on the algorithm or whatever, because I scroll a little further down and then I see Chris Hansen recently on a panel on a stage talking about Roblox, and basically starting a sting operation for Roblox. That looked very immediate. Click on it. Bam. Let me see what's up. Got kids play Roblox myself. My kids, they all, they play video games and they play Roblox sometimes. So smash the click, see what's up. Chris Hansen's up there with some nerds on the stage. One of these nerds is typing on the goddamn laptop and hands it to Chris Hansen, says, here you go. All you got to do is log in, get onto this game, onto this Roblox game, and here's where you'll find, what you're looking for. And so Chris Hansen does a little thing, and as soon as he gets up on there, he comes up across a user called Freak for Real. And this user, his name is Freak for Real. Like it's right out of a goddamn comic strip, because Chris Hansen's like, oh, okay, this is perfect, and he's about to message him, and then Roblox, boom, bans him just like that, as if they were watching this live stream and Chris Hansen doing what he was doing, investigating the Roblox and the server and its predatorial nature, and he got banned instantly in real time. And to me, that seemed like a perfect instance of big corporation protecting predators rather than their players, their customers, their children. Big corporations, Roblox. It should, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And I think Chris Hansen's still doing the Lord's work. I hope he gets down into the nitty gritty with that for sure. Roblox, it's a goddamn shame. There's a lot of sick people out there, and we should not allow things like that to transpire. It's kind of like the WNBA, and people like that trying to get onto that whole alphabet category. What is it? Minor attracted persons. Are they trying to get along? Is the Q, the TABCQ, whatever the heck, are they also trying to get the minor attracted persons to be normalized? Is that something that they stand for? I don't think so, but it's something that it's almost right alongside it. You know what I mean? If you normalize one thing, then it opens the door for many others. If you normalize men in women's locker rooms, it opens the door for many other things, and it's almost like it's the same kind of evil that rides alongside of each other. These psychopaths. So this is the best way I can describe it. Sick people out there. So Chris Hansen doing the Lord's work. God bless you, brother. I can't wait to see that goddamn movie. I hope you got something for that movie, Chris Hansen. Really, I mean, it looks cool. It looks like a really cool movie. Prime time. You should have went with Take a Seat. God damn it, missed that opportunity. Okay. organ harvesting. And I mean like organ harvesting. So here's my hot take with this organ harvesting story. If you haven't heard about the organ harvesting story, let me tell you, I got a humdinger of a story, ladies and gentlemen. A humdinger, folks. Organ harvesting story in U.S. Yeah, it's happened here, ladies and gentlemen. It's an organ harvesting story in the great state of Kentucky. And in parts of Indiana, Ohio, and West Virginia. Okay, no big deal. Shut up. Federal officials moved to decertify it after reviews of 351 canceled donation cases from 2021 to 24 identified 103 cases with concerning features, including 73 in which patients showed neurological signs that should have halted the donation process. This recent U.S. story is about Network for Hope, the organ procurement nonprofit serving Kentucky and parts of Indiana. Network for Hope. Apparently 103 cases with concerning features, including 73 in which patients showed neurological signs that should have halted the donation process. So these people were pulling organs out of people that still had brain signs, that still were alive technically. And so they were, I guess, killing people, I guess. I mean, if you pull out, I guess, some lungs, if you pull out some goddamn liver, if you pull out, if you still have brain, then you're not dead. So if they pull out your heart, then they kill you? I don't know. But the Network for Hope was not relying on hope after a point. They decided they would make their own hope. They would hope not to get caught. And I guess they got caught. The main immediate development is HHS and the CMS began decertification in early August 2026. If finalized, another organ procurement organization would take over donations coordination for that region. So I don't even know if they're see what kind of legal implications apply here. So the major action underway is the administrative, legal, regulatory action against the Network for Hope. So they're definitely going to take, there's going to be some charges, I'm sure, or something. Who knows? With everything that's going on, it could just be, I don't know. But if these people were taking out organs of people who were in debt, then that I would understand that there would be some serious legal implications, some criminal prosecutions and whatnot. Imagine that. Imagine you go in there, you go into the doctor. Doctor, I've scraped my knee here. I've got a bad boo-boo. I need a Band-Aid. He says, well, let's get you over to the to the Network for Hope, and we'll get you patched up. You go over to the Network for Hope, and they're like, well, let's take your lungs. Let's take your lungs. That little knee there, that little knee boo-boo. We're going to go ahead and take your lungs because you've scraped your knee. Wow. That's horrible. Where does that line get drawn? Where do they start to declare whether or not someone is worth saving and or capable of being saving before they rip their lungs and their heart out? That's a damn shame. The Hippocratic Oath, to do no harm. To me, that reminds me of the plumbing creed, to protect the health of the nation. That those are very similar creeds. Like I both see it. I see them both as a very intimate way to serve the community. Obviously, you need a lot of schooling to be a doctor, as you should. You need to know the ins and outs of your human anatomy, the ins and outs of viruses. You need to know all kinds of gobbledygunk, as they say in the nomenclature. All the gobbledygunk. Plumbing's the same. We have to train for a long time. We don't go to. You can go to school, which is great. A lot of people go to trade schools, which are making a comeback now in America. Thank you to all the people in the world that are bringing those back. I remember hearing a few months ago that Trump was going to start taking an interest in that initiative, which, hey man, that's inspirational. That's awesome. To me, that shows that we need to get that conversation going again. Not all these degrees and all these crap college courses are getting kids nowhere. You get a goddamn degree in gender studies. What's that do you for? You get a degree in liberal arts. What are you doing with that? Nothing. You end up getting a job as a teacher. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But it doesn't bode well for America if we're learning for nothing. We need to learn for what we're going to do best at, the things that will contribute to society with. If I'm going to be a plumber, I should learn how to be a plumber. If I'm going to be an electrician, the same should be said. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, so Hippocratic oath. Do no harm. That this here, they save lives, obviously, if they're donating these organs, but at the same time, it kind of undermines what you're doing if you're killing somebody to do it. So, all these are this is all just alleged. The Network for Hope, everything I said is alleged. I don't know how true all this stuff is. It's on the fucking internets, but there is, some investigations undergoing. So yeah, there's that. What else? Hell. I don't know where to go from organ harvesting. I think we can go somewhere nice. We can go to space. We can go to moon. We can talk about Elon Musk shooting the moon, putting a new crater in the moon. Wow. First of all, Elon, wow. This is something that we've never done. We've never put a new crater on the moon. They shot a rocket so hard at the moon that it put a new crater in it. The idea of that was to study the ejecti, the dust plume that pretty much would get kicked up from that crater. My thing with that is, what the shit are you talking about? The moon's right there. Just go up there, get your goddamn moon rocks, get your goddamn dust, and bring it back. Haven't we been doing that? Haven't we been sending rovers up there? Haven't we had, 12 people on the moon, allegedly? Why are we're still doing research on the moon? We don't. What do we need to know? I thought there was a lot of science being done up there, or at least didn't we send some rovers that were going up on the moon? They were core drilling. They were pulling out these core drills, leaving them on the surface, and then continuing on to do more core drilling throughout the moon. And then, if not, I remember there was supposed to be some sort of follow-up mission where those core drills would be picked up by a later drone some other time. Not to mention, I don't know, since 69, we did a whole bunch of landing. There was like 12 missions successful, or six successful moon landings. That, I don't know, man. I thought we had a bunch of dust. I thought we knew some things. What are they still sciencing about up there? And furthermore, what the hell is Elon Musk capable? Why is he allowed to shoot the goddamn moon? Since when is the private sector allowed to just kind of willy-nilly conduct science on the moon? I thought there was some sort of moon treaty. Let me ask there. I thought there was a treaty with all the countries of the moon. Yeah, so there is there a reason that there is no moon base? That's pretty much no, that's not what I was let's see here. The worldwide framework is a 1967 Outer Space Treaty that says no country can claim the moon. Yeah, boom. So we can't put a goddamn moon base up, but we can toss goddamn rockets at the moon. Did Elon Musk get, permission from all the countries of the fucking world to shoot a goddamn missile at the moon? Was that kosher? Did we all know about this? Was this cool? Did our president, if I decide to throw a goddamn big ass rocket at the moon and that rocket just so happens to have a little plutonium on it, just a little bit, and a little bit of fission happens, a little bit of fusion, a little bit of goddamn kaboosian. Well, this private sector could just nuke the moon now? What's up with that? How is this cool? Why are we okay with that? I love Elon Musk. I love Doge. Teslas look pretty cool. I seen this really cool gold one in Austin. It looks dope. It's a two-seater. Two-seater gold Tessie. It looks dope. Didn't have any badges on it or nothing. I think it's still being tested. But that's aside from the point. What the fuck are you doing, Musk? Shooting the moon and whatnot. For what? For a plume? Who gives a fuck about that plume, dude? Fuck your plume. We got dust. We got moon rocks. We got fucking allegedly 12 people been on the goddamn moon. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why haven't we just gone up there and make a goddamn moon base? And see, that's probably why I'm so angry, is because when I was a kid, we had with shows like the Jetsons, little fucking goddamn cars flying around everywhere, and we ain't got none of that. I ain't got no robot maid, but Musk, Musk has got the robots coming. Does he got a flying vehicle? I don't know, but the Tesla flies. I'll tell you that. I've been in a Tesla. That motherfucker flies. So, yeah, I guess I'm a little bitter, a little upset that we haven't progressed further as far as our moon research, as far as our technological advancements. To me, a plume, defacing the moon, putting a brand new crater on it for a plume, to see what it would do, to see how deep it would get. I don't know. To me, it seems like seems pretty goddamn dumb. Just go up there and do the science. What are you doing? Shooting shit at the moon. Just go up there and do science up there. What the fuck? It's right there. Go do it. We've done it before. Go up there and do the science. Is impossible? Have we forgotten how to do that? I don't know. You just sent a rocket up there. Why don't you just man that rocket, Musk? Why don't you get some goddamn employee somewhere in the factory, say, hey, bud, hey, Bob, hey, Bill, y'all two want to, I don't know, go check out the moon? I'll give you a wicked per diem. Bill and Bob are going to go like, well, yeah. Fuck yeah, I want to see the moon, Musk. I'm sorry, Mr. Musk, because they're just employees after all. They don't know Elon like that. They call him Mr. Musk. They wouldn't be on a first name basis with him. He calls them first name, but nobody calls him Elon. No, they call him Mr. Musk. Keep it professional, bud. We're in Texas. Mr. Musk. Bill and Bob go up there, go up to the moon, find out what the hell those plumes, find out what those plumes did. I want you, Musk, now, I want you to send Bill and Bob up there. I want you to take every dust that you displaced with that goddamn rocket, and I want you to fill that crater back. Because for the stupid point of you doing your little plume or whatever the fuck, it just seems stupid and pointless that you wouldn't just go up there and do the science. What are we even talking about? Why the fuck are you shooting at the moon? Why wouldn't you just go do the science? Oh, that frustrates me so bad. It infuriates me. There's Six Flags. I did a little bit of research, not too much. Because did the moon? Did we land? I don't know. Who knows what's going on there? We're still shooting goddamn rockets at the moon to figure out what kind of plumes it would get. Like we're just now learning how to goddamn shoot rockets to the moon. But I found it interesting that there was six American flags planted over the lunar surface, and to me that felt like Six Flags over Texas. It felt like a goddamn like a little bit of poetry. The Six Flags over Texas to me. Well, not just to me, but to history. What that means is, if you don't know, Texas used to be owned by 6 sovereign different nations, and the Six Flags that we have over the moon, to me, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a 6 sovereign different nations, but it does seem like an interesting number. 6 missions, 12 astronauts, 6 Flags. We need a goddamn, that's what we need. We need a theme park up there. Some roller coasters. Goddamn Futurama had it right. Matt Groening. Oh, shit. The Simpsons. Oh, no. Oh, no. Matt Groening. He's creator of The Simpsons. That's no good. That's no bueno. Yeah. Futurama, they had the moon little amusement park. Whoa. 6 Flags over the moon. Oh, shit. Okay. We're on to something, Musk. All right, Musk, here's what you got to do. Forget the plume, forget the dust. I'll forgive you if you get me a goddamn rattler up there, all right? Get me an iron rattler. Get me a scream, since we'll call it well, you can't scream in space. Call it a I don't know, a squeak? No, I don't know. I don't know what you call it. Doesn't matter what you call it. Get the rides, get the UFO one up there that spins the little centrifuge. Get that going, man. Charge a few thousand a pop. Yeah, man. We'll go check out goddamn Six Flags over the moon. That's the future. That's the future, Mus. That's the future I need you to bring in. That's the future I need you to to rein in, okay? And get Bill and Bob, get them up there, get them started on, I don't know, maybe some goddamn hot dog stands, get them started on the, you're going to need a fucking porta potty, get them started on the simple stuff first. After a while, send up Tim and then goddamn Arnaldo and send all the other goddamn guys up there and we'll go from there. Find out what kind of concessions would do well on the moon. That's got to be important. Kind of like I don't know, cotton candy. I guess that's definitely got to do pretty good. It's already really weightless, Oh man, the future is looking good. The future looks interesting. It looks fun. It looks Six Flags over the goddamn moon. That's what it looks like. The future looks like hopefully Dennis Rodman gets in the WNBA, fucks all that up. Hopefully the future looks like Chris Hansen destroying Roblox altogether. Why not? If evil needs to go, evil needs to go. He's doing the Lord's work, I said. Didn't I say that? I said that. The future looks like maybe organ harvesting. Yeah, that I don't know. I don't know about that future, the organ heart. The future looks like maybe organ harvesting will be unnecessary because we'll be able to 3D print organs. I think the future looks like that. Yeah, for sure. I can see that. The Jetsons. Oh, yeah, the Jetsons. Jim Carrey, I think, agreed to do a Jetsons movie or whatever that thing is that's calling himself Jim Carrey. I'll have to do a whole nother episode on that. Yeah. God damn it.
Damn it, Bobby.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, keep love in your heart and leave no room for hate.